Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
We're here.
A little bit sick, but
you're a little sick. I know. You've got that good podcast voice, though. That like deep rumble.
That's just the microphone.
That's just the microphone. Cool. Well, we are here to talk about Blaseball on Games for Change. I'm very excited. Thank you so much to them for inviting us. Our topic for this 10-minute brief, and we will try to keep it brief, is community co-op, Blaseball's collaborations with our fans. And basically how this talk is going to go is we'll do a quick intro of ourselves and what we do at the Game Bin and on Blaseball. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Blaseball and what it is at the very basics. We're going to attempt to keep that only a few minutes. It will break a world record on how quickly we can explain the game to any one person. But for those of you who've not played the game before, that'll be very useful. And then from there, we're going to go on and talk about how we collaborate with our community and how the live experience of Blaseball is very much a back and forth, not just in the game, but also from a meta perspective and outside of the game. Okay, Blaseball is a text-based, free, live, browser-based, absurdist baseball simulation. Fans who play the game and log onto the website place bets on games that take place every hour, Monday to Friday, to collect in-game currency called coin. Whole seasons conclude each week with playoffs on the weekends, and fans vote to change the game's rules each Sunday in elections. What does that mean? Well, I guess if you want a fifth base and it's available as a decree, vote for it. If you want pitchers to have more fingers, vote for it. If you want to open the forbidden book against all common sense, you can vote for it. And with each change, you come closer to uncovering the mysterious forces that push and pull the Internet Blaseball League, some of whom are friendly and some of whom are not. And you're going to join together with your fellow fans to, as we like to say, fight malevolent forces beyond your control. The most important part of Blaseball is that it isn't necessarily a game you play. It's a game you watch. Much like real sports, the game is going on whether you're there or not. You have to think of it almost as an idle game, and the goal is to vote and steer this idle game in a direction that benefits you, your team, or even the entire league. You need to vote wisely, and remember, we're all in this together. So I feel like that encompasses it. I know it's a lot, but Stephen, do you feel like I missed anything?
No, you said Internet Blaseball League, and just to clarify, because I see it all the time online, it's Internet League Blaseball.
Even I got it wrong. The Internet League of Blaseball.
But otherwise, I think it's perfect. Yeah.
So we do have a cadence. There is an on-season and an off-season, and that's for our health, the developers, as well as the players' health. With a game like this, much like sports, if any one sport was running all year long, you might get really fatigued watching it and being really invested in it. So we have a cadence we do our on-season for 3 weeks and then off-season for 2. So if you go to blaseball.com after watching this and try to sign up and there's nothing live and you can't really figure out what's going on, it's just that we're in an off-season. So stick around and we'll be back again pretty soon. Join the Discord maybe and talk to some people. You'll see all the links on our page, blaseball.com. Follow Parker on Twitter, etc., and we'll be back eventually. So, all right. So that leads into the community in general. And Stephen, I would love for you to talk a little bit about how the game is played by the community, both inside the game and from our perspective, from a design perspective. And then we will jump into some cool stuff that's happened outside of it.
Blaseball is kind of this shared reality that we all can kind of gravitate around and find each other with. We wanted to give fans collective agency, right? Blaseball kind of breaks apart the myth that video games often give you of like these power fantasies. You really can't do anything on your own in Blaseball. Not all that much. You might be responsible for a blessing, passing, or something, but that is, unless you're working with your team and other fans, like then you can actually change reality. I think they've jumped reality multiple times now. You can bring players back from the dead. That was something that really interested us, this idea of mass organizing, and then combining that with the desire that I think every fan has to be able to influence the game that their favorite team is in. That's something that we wanted to play with. Blaseball is a bunch. It's hopefully kind of working together and finding solidarity. We always say amid like forces outside your control and manipulating like broken democratic systems toward hopefully progress. that if there's an allegory to current events in there somewhere, that may have filtered in through our own collective trauma over the last year. At the end of the day, though, like I do want to say, like, Blaseball is a video game. It's not actual collective action. Like, it's not the same thing as going out into the streets and risking your life for your job in order to do something. I think we can get into what the fans have done that we're really proud of. But, like, playing the game of Blaseball is not praxis. It's a video game. But I think that, like, we have, as designers, built in systems that hopefully encourage collective community organizing within the context of the game. So those metaphors, I think, ring a bit more loudly than maybe in other spaces.
But having said that, we, in making a game about these themes and finding a like-minded audience with values that mirror ours and that kind of thing, we have been so deeply humbled by the action, the ways that the fans have taken it out into the real world under the banner of Blaseball. And I would love for you to talk a little bit more about that too.
Yeah. So, well, it comes first, I think, from some design decisions that we made, partially out of necessity, partially because of the themes that we wanted to engage in. Blaseball itself is a website that is very Spartan. It's text-based. These are names. You're not seeing players. So immediately there was kind of this vacuum that was created that the fans rushed in to fill. We were met with tons of fan art. We always say that, like, Blaseball players look differently to each person. You're bringing a whole bunch of yourself to your interpretation of Blaseball and what these players look like, how they manifest. You'll often see more popular kind of like collective interpretations of players rise to the surface. But and these, you also saw fans start to build cultures around their teams, rituals, chants, stuff like that. So that each team really started to get, at least in the Discord, really started to get kind of its own identity. We started to see fans role playing on Twitter, engaging with Parker, our commissioner. So the Blaseball universe just kind of started to immediately virally expand and replicate. And with that came stuff like Blaseball Cares, which was an initiative from the fans where, they came to us and said, hey, we're fans supposedly of these teams of different places, some real, some, like Chicago, some, or maybe fictional Chicago, or, Canada or Philly. Right. And we would love to use the Blaseball banner to try to, raise money for organizations that are doing actual important material work in those communities. Something we told ourselves, like, from the very beginning, when we saw all this fan art and music and lore being, like, fan lore being written, that we just weren't going to put up barriers to the fans. Like, people were engaging with it, and we created Blaseball to be something that could maybe bring people together during the pandemic when everybody was isolated. So now that they were actually starting to run with it, we were like, why would we do anything to try to stop that?
Yeah. Exactly. I'm hoping that it continues, and we hope that we can live up to that too, and do, make our fans proud and continue sort of building Blaseball with those things in mind. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and come follow us on Twitter and join the Discord and sign up for Blaseball and see if you like it. That'd be very fun.
Thank you.